swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What's going on, Tone? It's game day once again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ski. Y'all know the vibes. Y'all know the energy. Y'all know where our baldies be. Y'all tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast featuring none other than Pro Fan Talk's own Marcus Thomas, former Eagles running back, all-time leading rusher for Eastern Kentucky University. You feel me? Played in not only the NFL, but the CFL, the World League. This guy's world travel. This guy knows football front to back, man. Make sure you guys give my man Marcus Thomas a round of applause. Go lock in on Pro Fan Talk. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. I am your resident NFL and Philadelphia Eagles enthusiast. You feel what I'm saying? So make sure you guys show love to my guy, Marcus Thomas. Again, Pro Fan Talk, one of the fastest growing sports channels out there. My man's covering the Eagles, covering the NFL. Also, he got Pro Fan Hoops covering the WNBA, man. The WNBA playoffs are in full effect. And if I'm not mistaken, the good brother just passed 8,000 subs on YouTube on Pro Fan Talk. So make sure you guys show him some love.
8K, ladies and gentlemen. 8K is
get my man a 9,000. You feel me?
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
For sure. For sure. Sometimes it's hard to, sometimes you got to continue to remind yourself of that, right? Because, you know, you put so much time and dedication and effort into this YouTube thing. And I know you do, man, with all the graphics, the research, you know, your notes, you know, actually watching the games, actually watching the film. It's a lot of time, right? And it's dope to see that work amounting to something. So again, make sure you guys stay locked in, man. We really do appreciate y'all. Again, Chalk It Up Sports is also growing as well. We're about 400 to 500 subs away from 10,000 subs on YouTube. You guys have been phenomenal. So let's get there as quickly as possible, man, because that 10,000 looks a lot better than 9.5. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
So make sure you guys lock in. We appreciate y'all. We got a lot to talk about, man. NFL football week 4 is in full effect, man. Teams' identities are beginning to take shape. Your Philadelphia Eagles are facing off against some would call their arch nemesis, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We know Tampa Bay has been a sour grape for us, especially with how things ended at the vet many years ago. So we're going to move on from that and focus on today, focus on the now. You know, let's just get right into it, man. I'm not buying all the conspiracy theories and all the different tropes regarding the Buccaneers' relationship with the Eagles. I personally don't buy into that. I could care less about it. There's so many nuances, especially in the past, so many nuances involved in that, especially in the last 3 meetings or in the Jalen Hurts era. So many nuances that go into that and why the games ended up the way they ended up. But nonetheless, the Buccaneers did their jobs and they won most of those games, right? But I'm not buying it, bro. I'm not buying what they selling. These guys don't scare me. They're a good football team, but they don't scare me, Marcus.
I agree. And people tend to take that a little bit too literal at times, especially when you leap on top of that or heap on top of that situation, what you get from the media. And they look at the numbers, you know, numbers don't lie, but they do deceive. So, you know, the one thing I always say is everybody likes to talk from one side of the perspective. Tampa Bay is doing this, Baker Mayfield's playing well, blah, blah, blah. And it's like everybody talks like the Eagles have not gotten better as well. Like the Eagles are just standing still. We got injuries. They got injuries. You know what I mean? We've been playing well. We got some guys back. They got some guys back. Mm-hmm. I believe this is the first time A.J. Brown will be in a game against the Bucs in, 2 years? Something like that. So the last couple times we played him, A.J. Brown was hurt. So there's different situations at every level, but it's not like the Eagles have just been standing still, have not gotten better, have not seen some things happen. Yes, we got injuries. Nolan Smith is out. But we said we got Howie Roseman, the next man up. That mentality is coming into fruition big time because Darius Smith has been balling. Jalen Hunt is going to get his opportunity to shine today. Josh Uche is going to get an opportunity to shine today. You know, so we've got situations. Keely Ringo, y'all know I ride with Keely Ringo. It was good until it wasn't, and now he even gets another opportunity. What are you going to make of your opportunity? So that's what it comes down to. The big news, I guess the biggest conversation today is, we talked about it before we came on the air, is all eyes are on Kevin Patullo. All eyes. And this is where you have to be careful, because you're not going to be able to really go in until the game is over. So even if it comes to a point, and if we have a 3 and out, and then everybody's like, what are we calling? And everybody goes to the nth degree. And like, you got to hold on, because sometimes you calling plays trying to set something up later on. So you have to be patient. And the one thing I said last week, if you're gonna rip Kevin Patullo for the way the first half went, that's fair. However, that means you got to give him at least a little bit of credit for what happened in the second half, because Jalen Hurts is not calling plays. That's not the way it works. So what I think that happened last week, and hopefully they will transition into this week, is that Kevin Patullo calls the play, and then Jalen calls the audible based on what he sees at the line of scrimmage. And that's the way it should be. So that's the dynamic that I'm not sure about, because we're not in the meeting rooms. I know for a fact, just looking at the tape, that as bad as that first half was, we had some opportunities that we just missed. We had some opportunities because blocking broke down. We had some opportunities that we missed because Jalen just missed open receivers. That happened, I think, like 2 or 3 times in the first half. So there's blame to go around, but it's not all on Kevin Patullo. So we have to be very careful of that. Having said that, there still is an expectation based on what we saw in the second half. And we got to remember, Todd Bowles knows that too. Todd Bowles is no dummy. He's a very good defensive coach. So he is going to be coming with the game plan, and he's going to be coming with it to eliminate that. He's seen what everybody has done against A.J. Brown and where the success has come against A.J. Brown. What do you think he's going to do? So that's only the smart thing to do. Now it's up to us to adjust and make things happen. I am hoping to see a little bit more RPO today, just to keep that defense balanced.
Yeah, man. I mean, you pretty much laid a lot of it out. I want to double back, though. I want to peel the layers back little by little and try to really iron out the wrinkles of this game here, because, again, there's, like you laid out, there's so many nuances to it. And I want to start with the injury report. Like you said, no Nolan Smith today. Nolan Smith has been placed on IR with the tricep injury. I guess he re-aggravated that tricep that he got surgery on in the offseason. As you guys remember, he tore that tricep in the Super Bowl, and he infamously told the story that the trainer told him that he's done enough in that game. He should sit down. And he told the trainer,
nope.
Who the F are you to tell me that I've done enough? Hey, put the brace on, and I ain't asking. So Nolan Smith is a trooper, man. We know if he wanted to be out there, or if he really could be out there, he would be out there. But nonetheless, the Eagles are playing the cautious. They're playing the long game with Nolan, and I completely understand that, especially with that tricep. Nolan, he's going to have to try to get past this injury stint that he's going through in his career.
Yeah,
first with the shoulder, then the tricep. So nonetheless, I do expect Nolan to be good to go, especially for that Green Bay game going forward. But nonetheless, no Nolan today. On top of that, No Jacorian Bennett. He's been placed on IR with a shoulder injury. I think he hurt his shoulder on the block kick return for a touchdown. He tried to take out the placeholder from picking up the football, and I think he hurt his shoulder in that regard. So no Jacorian Bennett at corner. On top of that, the Philadelphia Eagles will be without, if I'm rolling the dice, they're going to be without Adoree Jackson. He's been limited all week, and his status was registered as doubtful.
Yeah.
So this is looking like you said, a Kelee Ringo game, and we're going to talk more about that as the show progresses. So no Adoree Jackson, no Jacorian Bennett, no Nolan Smith. Those are the key names you're missing on defense. Lane Johnson will be active, throughout the week. Zach Bond, Jahad Campbell, and Lane Johnson, they were limited in certain fashions, but eventually they were full practice participants. Lane
cautionary stuff.
Yeah, Lane suffered a stinger in that Rams game. He only played the first drive, and from that point forward, Matt Pryor was a turnstile. Then they finally decided to put in Fred Johnson as a Hail Mary, and Fred Johnson did his thing. So Lane Johnson is back this week. You got Zach Bond, you got Jahad Campbell, who in my opinion, definitively are the best linebacker tandem in football. Jahad Campbell has been graded as has been the highest graded defensive rookie.
I was about to say Jahad graded out last week, man. So that's phenomenal, dude, for a rookie.
Yeah, but
that is phenomenal.
I'm talking the whole season. Jahad has been the highest graded defensive rookie from his draft class all season long.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jahad Campbell. Zach Bond is obviously coming off a really good game. I trust that linebacker crew with my eyes closed. Now transition to the Buccaneers side of things. They are going to be without Mike Evans. He's dealing with a hamstring. He'll be out for the next 2 to 4 weeks, depending on whatever's going on with him. They're going to be without safety Christian Izien with a quad injury. Now, this is where things get interesting. Chris Godwin got surgery, I think, in the offseason on his ankle, and they never technically put him on IR. He was just kind of on a game-by-game basis with them, and there's a strong chance he plays today. And from what I read, he's going to be on the pitch count, so you may see Chris Godwin out there. Maybe it's a third down situation, some third and longs where they really need, some guy to have it drive, some guy to have it series. So likely we'll see Chris Godwin Jr., but to what effect will we see him? That will be the question. Defensive lineman Logan Hall dealing with a groin. He's questionable. For a lineman, you got to get that bend. Not have being limited with the groin. How much of effect will he be? Will he play today? We will see. Baker Mayfield was dealing with a right bicep injury, his throwing arm. They say he's been practicing all week nonetheless, he practiced for the first time, I think, was it Friday or Thursday, something like that.
Yeah.
But we'll see what that does. He's going to play. I have no doubt about that. And offensive tackle Tristan Wirfs, he's someone who's been out as well, dealing with a knee. He'll be back. He's their left tackle. He's their best offensive lineman. He should be back. So, again, both teams aren't without their bruises, their nicks and bruises, but in my opinion, the biggest names to be on the injury report are Mike Evans and Adoree Jackson, and that puts a lot of pressure on a young player like Emeka Egbuka, and that puts a lot of pressure on a guy named Kelee Ringo for the Eagles. So let's start from that angle, right? Let's start from that perspective when it comes to dissecting these teams and what we expect to see. Let's start from the Eagles defense versus the Bucs offense angle, right? Kelee Ringo being in this game, big opportunity for him. We all know how the offseason went. We had high expectations for him, you and I, and he didn't necessarily fit the bill to the point where they decided to go with the 30-year-old Adoree Jackson, and then to the point where a new addition, a trade addition, and Jacorian Bennett had beat him off for snaps as well. It's not a good look for a guy in Kelee Ringo who's been here for the past 3 or 4 seasons. Not a good look. So when we look at Kelee Ringo and what the Buccaneers pose from a passing perspective, Baker Mayfield is playing well. Emeka Egbuka, the rookie's playing well. No Mike Evans. Sterling Shepard has been solid. Chris Godwin Jr. comes back. I do believe Emeka Egbuka, we're going to learn a lot about him with Mike Evans being out because Mike Evans demands so much attention.
Right.
We're going to learn a lot about those guys. So when you think about the Kelee Ringo angle from this thing, what are your expectations? How do you feel about the matchup? What do you anticipate the Bucs doing to try to expose that weakness on the Eagles defense?
It's very interesting with Kelee. And again, I'll preface this by saying I was a Kelee Ringo fan.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to pencil him in as a starter, but it went the way it went, rightfully so. He's in the same situation as Matt Pryor with a little bit more preparation. Matt Pryor didn't expect to get shoved in that game. But when you are put in the situation, you are expected to do your job. Keely Ringo's in this same boat, except he's had a week of practice. So he should be prepared. Again, I got trust in Vic Fangio that he will get him ready. It is still up to him to do what he is supposed to do on the field. Now, here's the thing. Did he learn what not to do? We already know he's got size. We already know he's got speed. We already know he's physical. The biggest criticism of Keely Ringo was that dude moves his hips like he running in oatmeal, like opening and closing his hips, changing direction, making tackles. His angles are trash, just like in that, I guess that was at the preseason game where, they ran around him. Who was that? Was that T. Higgins from Cincinnati? That kind of made him look silly.
That was Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase on a normal tackle. And everybody says, well, that was Jamar Chase. And it was like, duh. He's going to, if you can't make that tackle against that dude, you know what I mean? See how do you measure up against the best? That's your litmus test. And that was a routine by the numbers tackle that he should have made. But in any case, all of that's in the past. And he will be measured going forward by really what he does today, because this is not preseason. This is a real game with real consequences. And he's in a situation literally where he can cement himself into this defense. All you got to do is do your job. We already know that the other guys get paid too, but there's going to come a time where you're going to have to make a tackle, make that tackle. If you ever, by chance, get your hands on the ball, come down with the ball. So there are going to be some opportunities that he can take advantage of while he's on the field, and he can cement his starting spot on this defense. Let's see if he comes through. This is what it's all about.
He can make sure Dory Jackson doesn't see the field again in this game.
Correct.
He can make sure. But he has to play damn near flawless for that to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because if he doesn't, who's next? Mac McWilliams? So what do we, and let me be honest with you, I want to see Mac McWilliams because I thought he played great in the preseason.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of we are still, and this is the same argument we have with Jalen Hurts. Little bit different, same game, different stadium. Everybody criticizes Jalen Hurts because stature, physical traits. He's not 6'4". He can't throw the ball 80 yards on a string, all of that type of stuff, right? In my opinion, somebody like Mac McWilliams and others, they don't get the opportunities because their name just doesn't have the pop with it. But when I look at what, happened, same thing with Zach Bond. The name just didn't have a pop. But when you finally get somewhere and you get the opportunity that you've been looking for and you take advantage of it, everything changes. Everything changes. Zach Bond made life-changing money, generational money by his performance last year. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping Keely Ringo can do that. And I just need him to get in there and show and prove that, dude, you can play. There's a reason how he don't make too many mistakes. And I don't think he made a mistake on him. It's time for you to prove.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like you said, man, this is a big opportunity for Keely Ringo, a big opportunity for his career. He can completely shift the way he's viewed in public circles with this game. Yep. Because again, I think he's going up against very respectable receivers in Emeka Egbuka, who's come on the scene and showing that he could play at this level. Chris Godwin Jr., obviously talented brother. We know what he can do. Sterling Shepard's been playing well for the Buccaneers. So he has everything in front of him. He does. I think what's really going to be the thing to watch in this game is getting to the source. And the source is Baker Mayfield.
Right.
Baker Mayfield's been playing well. Now, I will say this about Baker Mayfield. as good as he's playing, he's liable to be inaccurate for a stretch. He's liable to do that. But he's showing you that when it matters most, he can deliver that. He can set you up for a game-winning drive.
Right.
I like Baker Mayfield. I think he didn't get a fair shake in Cleveland, especially towards the end. And he was on the verge of falling into football obscurity, but he managed to leverage that opportunity the Buccaneers gave him, and he's turned it into
a career,
a career, a second leg to his career, right? So again, Baker Mayfield, give him all the credit in the world, and I think even beyond his passing, what he's really been doing to hurt teams this year, especially in crucial moments, is his scrambling ability.
Yep.
I believe that's where he's been hurting teams the most, because it seems like when the chips get down, they tend to forget that he can get out of there.
Yeah, you got to get your hands on him and get him down.
Exactly, and he can throw the ball, so he is going to pose challenges just from an athletic standpoint. So you look at the way the Eagles are built, and I think they've been building their team for guys strictly like this, right? You know, in the division, you got a guy named Jalen Daniels who can get solid at the sideline very quickly. And when you think about the way the Eagles have built this team, especially the front seven, got a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, in particular at the linebacker position, Jahai Campbell and Zach Bond, who have been playing very, very well in coverage. I don't think the Buccaneers have faced a defense. Actually, I take that back. The Houston Texans have a really, really good defense, and they made them work for every bit of it. But from a linebacker perspective, guys who can not only fit the gaps and get to you in the blitz, not only guys that can set the edges, but guys that are very, very competent in coverage, extremely competent. I don't think the Buccaneers have faced a linebacker tandem like this. But I think what's going to be really interesting to see is how well Tampa Bay blocks today, because although Tristan Wirfs is back, I forgot to mention this earlier, they are missing two other starting offensive linemen. They're missing Luke Godecki and Cody Mauch, who are on IR. So that's something to monitor, because if you look at their rushing numbers, they haven't been able to run the ball the way they're used to in comparison to the previous seasons. They're missing an interior lineman, and they're missing their starting right tackle. Tristan Wirfs just came back, right? So that's going to help them. But again, I'm looking at Baker Mayfield. I'm looking at that Bucs offensive line. Can the Philadelphia Eagles make him hold that ball long enough to where they're able to get home?
Yeah. Is that those injuries, are they recent, or has that been a couple weeks?
That's been pretty much the entirety of the season for those guys, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So the reason why I'm asking that is because they're used to whoever they got in there now. Basically, it is what it is. So, what's the running back's name? Is it Irvin? Bucky Irvin?
Bucky Irvin, yeah. But again,
he's had a couple good runs. He's a good back. He's
a good back.
Yeah.
But they have struggled to run the ball all season long. They have.
So we'll see. I mean, I don't expect a real fall off from our defensive line at all.
I think this could be a big Zadarius Smith game.
I agree 100%. And Jalen Hunt, we kind of, I don't want to say we pushed him to the side, but
we forget. We do,
because
it's okay to say that.
Zadarius Smith just came in and just immediately started paying dividends. So and maybe we do forget what Jalen Hunt did last year as a rookie from a small school and all that other kind of stuff they threw in there. This kid can play, and he's in the same boat again. I was like, oh, okay. Now you got somebody with a chip on their shoulder and trying to take advantage of the opportunities and the snaps that they get. I want to see a little bit more from Jalen Carter, but I can't complain about Jalen Carter, because Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis have become a duo now. With everything that happened with the block kicks last week, they have become a duo. And I'm hoping that somehow, Vic Fangio can still get them together and get them on the same page and get them working, because they are, when those two play together, and now that we know that Jordan Davis doesn't have to come off the field every time he makes a play where he has to run.
Playing the career high in snaps.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. And he is still hard to move.
Yeah, and one can argue he's had a better start to his season than Jalen Carter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the whole situation with the spit gate kind of derailed Jalen Carter a little bit. Um, he brought it back. He's got his trash talking ways. He got the penalty last week, which I thought was trash.
He got fined, yeah.
Yeah, that was weak sauce. But that's what the NFL is doing with these stupid penalties.
Overcorrection.
They are, and
they're just trying to prove a point. If you ask me,
it's a shame. You're gonna call a penalty on a guy and he halfway across the field. You know what I mean? Like, be real. But I'm expecting him to continue to get better and kind of put all of that stuff to the side, just as long as he doesn't get any stupid penalties. Because if he does, that's when Philly will turn on him. You already know. But I'm expecting our defensive line to play a little bit better and get hands on Baker Mayfield. And let's see if Vic Fangio continues with this blitzing cycle he's on.
Yeah,
this is new.
He's been trying to force the issue a little bit more.
Yeah, I like it.
I like it too, especially because I don't think he's been overdoing it. I think it's been this healthy dose of picking his spots and just trying to force the action a little bit, picking his spots when to force the quarterback to make a mistake, right? I think something that's going to be interesting though. Also, the Eagles didn't do a good job stopping the run last week.
No, he didn't. Did not.
And I do expect I expect there to be overcorrection with that. Not in a bad way, but just an emphasis on making sure that, hey, what happened last week is not going to happen again. Now, again, it helps that the Buccaneers offensive line is compromised, but I think Tristan Wirfs coming back is a big deal.
Yeah. They just got to hold their water this week. And if everything goes well, technically, we should get Nakobe Dean back next week.
Yes, that's going to be interesting. Also, what's your thoughts on just the secondary match? Eagles secondary versus these Bucs wide receivers? Again, I mentioned it earlier.
I think we should be good. Like my man KLS say, hoping for Ringo to step up today. I'm with you 100%. For the hidden gems on this deal, who's the hidden gems? We have known quantities. I think if you're talking about a hidden gem, that's why I would say Jalen Hunt maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need a hot start offensively. That's you beating a dead horse right there. But as far as the and thank you for the super chat, by the way. I think all eyes are going to be on Keely Ringo. I think they're going to test him early, and they should.
Of course they should. And
they're looking for chinks in the armor. That's what they're looking for. They're going to be good. Quignon's going to be good.
Yeah.
But Coop had a little trouble last week. So teams are going to be looking, okay, what's working against them? We know Quignon is good. We know Coop is good. We know what we can do with Reed Blankenship. They know what their limitations are. And Todd Bowles is one of those guys that they're going to figure out where the chinks in the armor are and they're going to attack them. So KLS, like you said, Keely Ringo is the key, in my opinion, because he's in the same spot as Adoree Jackson. So
they're going to try to isolate him.
They're going to pick on him.
Expect motion. They're going to try to isolate him as much as they possibly can. They're going to try to. You're going to see a lot of situations where they try to get Emeka Egbuka on him.
Yeah,
you're going to see situations where they try to get Chris Godwin going in this game. Again, he's going to be on the pitch count, but you're going to see Chris Godwin on some third down situations, on some crucial passing downs. You're going to see him. I think we may see Godwin on maybe between 15 to 20 plays this week.
Yeah.
So again, we all know when it comes to his defense, the tree trunk in the middle of the street is Keely Ringo. That's what we're all watching. That's what we're all looking at. We're going to be watching. What's his number? Number 7 now.
Yeah,
we're gonna be watching number 7 like a hawk all day, you guys. And I think if number 7 plays well, then this defense is going to be able to do their job without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
I really do believe that. Let's transition.
Well,
to the Eagles
real quick,
Yes,
real quick before we go to the offense. The one thing that people are kind of forgetting, I'm looking for Tampa Bay to start out going tempo, because what they want to do is they want to test the defense in the heat.
Yes, I can see that. I can see that.
So
to your point, then let's just say Eagles win the toss. Do you think they should keep the ball or defer? Because they normally defer.
I would defer.
Okay.
Keep everything the same. Deferring to the second half or doing something different in that regard is not going to really help you or hurt you when it comes to the weather and stuff like that.
Because at some point, your defense got to go out there anyway. It don't make a difference.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. At the end of the day, that's not a problem if you can get off the field.
Mm-hmm.
If you can force a 3 and out, you win. So they're going to have the tents and, pickle juice is a product now. So they'll have every form of electrolyte, Gatorade, and all of that type of stuff. And it's not like these guys have not played in the heat before. So it's a little bit different as opposed to, the Rams coming into town in late December. It's just a different type of vibe. Everybody on a team has played in bad heat at some form or fashion. When you come across it, the only thing you can do is stay hydrated, and everybody knows how to do that and get out there and play. That's it. Tampa Bay they're used to it, yes, but they don't like playing in it either. So, we'll be ready for that.
Yeah. My last point on the defense, and I think I was inspired by a chat that we have here. But my last point on Kelee Ringo. Dory Jackson won that job, right? We all know that. But there was, in my humble opinion, there was nothing Adoree Jackson definitively did better than Kelee Ringo, in my humble opinion. I think Adoree Jackson was just as bad,
Agreed.
if not worse than Kelee Ringo throughout the preseason and throughout training camp. Now, I wasn't there, but I'm just making some casual assumptions about the training camp portion, but I watched those games. Adoree Jackson wasn't any better, if you ask me. So I think the reason Adoree Jackson won the job in the first place, they ultimately went for experience rather than a younger guy. That's what I think. I think they ultimately chose experience.
Well, here's the thing: if you got a new guy coming in, and he's challenging somebody that's been with the team for 3 years,
that's the bigger indictment, if you ask me.
And they are at the same level, then the new guy is ahead. Kelee Ringo been here for 3 years. He knows he should be way ahead of Adoree Jackson. So by them being at the same level, what that tells me is Kelee Ringo is behind. Because you got somebody that just got here, just picked it up, and is on the field playing as good, if not better, than you are. So that means you're behind.
That's a good point.
You should have a clear advantage.
That's a good point, especially in the defense. That's a good point. That's a very good point. But again, yeah, Kelee Ringo, opportunity for you, dog.
Yes, I don't
opportunity
care who
for you. Opportunity for you, regardless of how I feel, regardless of how you feel. Kelee Ringo, big opportunity. I mean, he said in his press conference, they asked him, what's changed for you since training camp, all that kind of stuff. He said, I'd rather show you than tell you.
Yeah.
And I like the mindset.
And even with that, I was like, be careful.
I don't think he said anything crazy. I think
he didn't.
I think he's just a person from the mindset of there's nothing I could tell you that's going. I got to go play.
I agree 100%. However, if he doesn't play well, that clip is going to haunt him. That's
and guess what? I think you can find a million clips of people that can haunt them. But yeah, I think all he's saying is, look,
he put himself on the line.
My actions are going to have to speak louder than my words. Because Kelee been talking, like as far as like the offseason, they asked him what he's been working on. He's spoken. He's given all those kind of things, and things ended up how they ended up, right? So right. I think you get to a point as a player, and again, I never played the game on that level, but I think you get to the point as a player and say, you know what, my actions got to speak louder than my words. So I'd rather show you than tell you at this point. You know what I mean? Me talking ain't gonna win us the game. Me telling you what I worked on ain't gonna put me in position. I gotta show you rather than tell you. Keeping his answer short and to the point. So I ain't
mad at it, but
I like the mindset.
Somebody gonna pull that receipt.
For sure. Same thing with Emeka Ibuka. They asked him, what's like going up against his defense. He said, I've lived for stages like this. So we're gonna find out if he can fit the bill. We're gonna find out if Emeka Ibuka can do what he's been doing. If he can either take over this game or abuse Kelee Ringo. We're going to find out very quickly in this game. We're going to find out in the first half what we got going on with Kelee Ringo. All right, let's transition to the Eagles offense versus the Buccaneers defense, which one would argue is probably the more fascinating story because of the whole Todd Bowles versus Jalen Hurts dynamic when it comes to Todd Bowles' blitz packages, so on and so forth. So, and also on top of that, with the Eagles offensive struggles, it's funny. The Eagles offense, the very first quarter we saw them play. Oh, I'm sorry. The very first half we saw them play, and the very last half we saw them play are their two best halves from a production standpoint, right? We saw what they did in that first half against the Cowboys, and then
Right.
everything after that point has been cold. Then we saw what they did in the second half against the Rams. So their season as of right now is bookended by really strong halves. Easily their most productive halves in football: the opening half from week 1 and the closing half in week 3. I do expect this offense. I think this offense figured it out. I may be going out on a limb here, but I think this offense figured it out with the way Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and Saquon have been talking all week, and we talked about this offline before we got started. I think the leaders of this offense, the stars of this offense, have been making it a point to speak very candidly about the way the offense has looked and what their expectations are. And if you're Kevin Patullo, you can't be this dense to not let your killers kill. AJ Brown said it. AJ Brown said, because he even clarified his statements, right? He indicated that, look, the whole point I'm trying to get across is the whole trope of take what they give you is, okay, that's a real thing. But as far as I'm concerned, the way we built, we're takers. We don't just wait to be given something. We can dictate the action. We can dictate the terms of engagement. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And I know those guys believe that wholeheartedly. And if you're Kevin Patullo, you cannot be the reason why this team isn't aggressive or successful or so on and so forth. Because remember, that Kevin Patullo press conference earlier this week was a smack in the face to me. It was trash. It was egregious. It was what's the word I'm looking for? It was condescending.
Yeah.
It was insulting.
He was talking in circles.
It was insulting to sit there and try to convince us that you came out in that game with the mindset of being aggressive when every decision you made said the opposite.
Well,
so give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts on the whole Kevin Patullo angle in this game. Let's just start with expectations for the offense. Then we'll get into the Eagles offense versus Bucs defense dynamic.
So think about it like this, right? When I believe him when he says we came out aggressive. And I say that because, and I think we talked about this last week, they all sat in that meeting together. Jalen Hurts, Kevin Patullo, Nick Sirianni, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jeff Stoutland. Everybody is in those team meetings together. And they work out what they want to do, what they think is going to be successful. And they all have a hand. At least that's what Nick Sirianni has told us. It's a very familial. Everybody talks. The communications is at a high level. So everybody's on the same page. Right? So when he says we got to come out aggressive and we plan to come out aggressive, I agree with that because they was all in the same meeting. And we missed some throws in the first half. And some of those throws would have been first downs. Maybe splash plays. Maybe. AJ Brown breaks a tackle. That's not an unreasonable request. So I believe him when he says we came out aggressive. It just didn't work out that way. And I think the problem people are having, but they're lumping it in the wrong category, is we didn't make the adjustments quick enough. What I think happened is you're seeing some things, and every good defensive coordinator does this. They are seeing some things that they didn't prepare for on tape. Where did this defense come from? The last time they ran this was 5 years ago in the third quarter versus the Raiders. Why are we seeing this just now? That happens all the time. When you catch yourself in a situation like that, that's when you start guessing. That's when you start seeing the trips right and the trips left wide receiver screen. because you don't know what else to do, because now you might be facing the defense that you weren't prepared for, which means you don't know what's going to work against it because you don't know what they're trying to do. Is it a hidden coverage? Are they going to bail on the line of scrimmage? And is the linebacker going to drop back in Tampa? I don't know. That's where you figure things out, and that is where you rely on Jalen. You look at what you see on the line of scrimmage, and you make the decision of what the best play might be, and you do it on the fly. That's so, and I'm saying that because, I'm not absolving Kevin Patullo of bad play calling, but I am saying the other guys get paid too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes there is a defensive scheme or something you're looking at that you didn't prepare for because they kept it under wraps. And, let's not forget these games, first 2, 3, 4 games, this is a setup because some people are going to go into games 5, 6, and 7, and they're going to be doing things that they didn't do in games 1, 2, 3, or 4. That's where the phrase, you got to open up that playbook, man. That playbook is huge. The reason why people say that is because, hey, you got to find some other plays that might work. Right. You want to find some things that nobody's ever seen before. And that goes both ways on offense and defense.
Right.
Now, having said that, maybe it took going into the locker room at halftime getting embarrassed at home. And Jalen was like, nah, we gonna try this. We're going to do some things my way. And let's not get it twisted. Kevin Patullo still is a part of that. I want to give Jalen as much credit as he deserves, but I'm not going to take all of it away from Kevin Patullo just because you feel in some kind of way of what the first half looked like.
Well, damn it, he better make it. He better make it difficult. He better make it difficult, Marcus. I'm sorry, man. I hear what you're saying. I respect your football. I respect your football acumen to the highest degree. You know how we carry it, brother. but my emotions took over in that second half. I'm sorry.
You're right.
My emotions took over when I saw how starkly different that offense was playing. Starkly. I mean, I'm talking about when you go into the club and you see a 10 and the lights is dim. You walk out that motherfucker, see a 4. That's how drastically different it was. That's how drastically different it was, player. I don't mean no harm.
Oh my God, you went back to the club, bro.
It's Sunday. Lord forgive me for cussing. It's Sunday. I know. But brother,
they have to do it like KLS say. I think bringing the run game in, this has to help. I do want to see possible some more scheduled runs for Jalen Hurts. Not a lot, just enough to keep him honest. And maybe run some counter plays with Saquon. And for God's sakes, get the brother outside, please.
I'm glad you said that.
Get the brother outside. I'm tired of seeing every other team in the NFL get their running backs outside, but us.
Dog, this is a game where it's clear as day now. This is a game where you can't be so dense that you can't run into Vita Vea's lap.
No,
you can't. Vita Vea is one of the best interior defense linemen in the game. He's super athletic for a big guy. Don't get it twisted. He can move. That brother can move. Like, you have to be a fool to run up the teeth of this defense. You got to make them dudes work. Make them run a couple yards. Make them stretch. Make them think. Make them move side to sideline. Get these offensive line moving. This Eagles offensive line is at their best when they're able to move and get athletic. That's their best trip when they're able to really get athletic. You pull guys and they're able to get an impact block on the outside, and you see Cam Jurgens or you see Landon Dickerson or you see one of these guys just lead as the lead blocker. You got to be creative and stress them in some kind of way. I swear to God, if I see an inside zone on that, if I see another inside zone on that Eagles opening drive, if I see 2 inside zones back to back, I'm gonna lose my mind. Start the game with a pitch, do something, make them get your guys in open space. But also, I think, and this goes to getting Saquon involved as well, because Saquon hasn't had the greatest impact we're used to seeing. But I think when it comes to Saquon's impact, we have to think outside of just the running game, right?
Right.
Get the ball in his hands.
Yes.
Passing game. Run him on a Texas route. You know what I'm saying? Get him on a wheel route.
And also, let's not forget, Jalen hit him on a check down and hit him in the hands, and he dropped it. And he would have had space. He would have had space to make somebody miss. So again, maybe that's the difference between Jalen having 220 yards passing and 260.
Yes, yes, I agree with you on that. Because I'm looking because the Buccaneers, their linebackers aren't the best in coverage. One guy in particular,
Exactly.
Servace Dennis, linebacker. He's vulnerable in pass coverage. He's allowed the most yards passing on that defense. He's allowed the most yards in a 3-game span. Servace Dennis has allowed 235 passing yards in a 3-game span. And he's only been targeted 13 times. He's been targeted 13 times, he's given up 13 catches for that amount of yards. He's been abused in the passing game.
Yes.
Now, granted, he can get downhill. They send him as a blitzer, he can defend, he can get downhill. But going backwards, that man can't do it.
Yep.
He just can't do it. I know they say numbers don't tell the whole story, but if I target you and you're the closest defender, 13 targets, you allow 13 receptions for over 200 yards, over 230 yards. Okay, there's something there. Those stats are telling me something, right?
And we know who to attack.
Yeah,
I got to give Kevin Patullo at least some credit in that regard. He's watching tape too. He knows where the weak parts are in that defense. And to your point, you're not gonna run inside zone with Vita Vea sitting right there, right over your guard or your tackle.
And Levante David hanging out right there. You're just not going to do that.
No, don't do it. Get him outside. The best thing you can do against Vita Vea is make him chase. Make him chase. Today is going to be a great day to run play action where Jalen is under center or they are in pistol. Running play action out of gun formation, in my opinion, is damn near useless because the whole point of the play action is to at least pause the linebackers for one step. And when they are on the sides, I need the linebackers to take a step up. One step up means 3 yards of space.
Mm-hmm.
And if all they're doing is just sitting there because they get that half-ass fake out of gun formation, it's not doing anything. Run the fakes out of pistol. Make them think that running back is coming downhill. And you can still block inside to outside, and you can still get them out on a check down or in the flats. That can still work. So I'm with you with their linebackers. Their linebackers are good, not great. And we should have I'll take Dallas Goedert against their linebackers. Absolutely. I'll take AJ Brown in the slot or Devontae in the slot against their linebackers. I'll take Saquon Barkley moving out to an H-back position or something like that so you can take advantage of that mismatch. I will take that. But not if we don't call it. We're going to be still pulling our heads out, pulling the hair out. So we should have opportunities based on what we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth be told, Baker Mayfield has been bailing them out of a lot of situations. Baker Mayfield's been doing that, the way he's been scrambling and all of that type of stuff. If you can eliminate that, that puts them in a whole different box. But that's a big if based on the way he's been playing.
Mm-hmm.
So, our defense has got to get it done. I need Lane Johnson to put the grips on Hassan Reddick because he's coming.
For sure.
That's another storyline that we haven't really touched into. I didn't even think they touched on that. I didn't even hear much about Hassan on the radio this week, which I thought was kind of odd.
Well, we're going to talk about him because let's see what you want about Hassan. He's a professional pass rusher. He knows how to get it done. And Levante David, he's a veteran, man. He's probably maybe second ballot Hall of Famer with the way his career has gone. He's been very productive for a very long time. Also, that Todd Bowles defense, they love to send Antoine Winfield, Jacob Parrish, the nickel, and Taki Smith as blitzers. They love to send those guys. I think Antoine Winfield leads their DBs in terms of pass rush attempts, and Jacob Parrish and Taki Smith are second and third respectively. But yeah, if I'm Jalen Hurts and Kevin Patullo and these guys, you got to attack Zion McCollum. He's probably the weakest out of their corners.
Yeah,
he's probably the weakest out of their DBs. Zion McCollum, amongst their secondary, he's allowed the most yards at 141 yards through 3 games, and he's allowed 3 touchdowns through 3 games. So if anybody can be had in that secondary, it's definitely him. I'm finding every which way to get AJ Brown on Zion McCollum and make him deal with the big boy.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, when we played them last year, didn't we go long the first play of the game and didn't we drop the ball?
That's a good question. I really can't remember because I mean we didn't have AJ, we didn't have Smitty. It was Jahan Dotson,
Right.
Paris Campbell, and John Ross. I mean, no, that was before Jahan Dotson really acclimated to the offense. He was a new guy.
Right.
He didn't have no training camp, so Jalen Hurts was really thrown to a bunch of guys he really had no familiarity with. If we're being completely honest,
For some reason, I remember I don't know if it was the first play of the first series somewhere in there where we took a shot downfield on the right side of the field, and we ended up dropping the ball. I think it should have been a catch. It should have been like a 20, 30-yard gain, something to that effect. I'm going to go back and look at that. But at the end of the day, man, we have opportunities, and it's time for guys to step up, like Keely Ringo, like Jahan Dotson's been playing well, so I ain't got no problem with him. Everybody has something to say about Quez Watkins.
Oh my God, yo, listen. They did sign him to the practice squad, I think, right?
They did, but the reality of Quez Watkins, whatever happened last year is last year.
Doesn't matter.
Or before it doesn't matter. And I'm not saying your opinion of him is not correct. What I'm saying is all of that stuff gets thrown out the window the minute he makes a catch.
Okay, no, that's true. I mean, that's true.
Out the window. That's
true.
All that matters is now.
I hear you on that. Real quick.
What's up, Carlos?
Real quick. I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, you guys. Marcus, break down what makes this blitz from Todd Bowles so difficult to prepare for if you're Jalen Hurts of the Philadelphia Eagles. Granted, they have a lot of experience playing up against it, but break down why Todd Bowles' packages are still so complicated to get a handle on.
Gotcha.
All right, be right back, y'all.
Gotcha. The big thing about Todd Bowles is when you bring everybody to the line of scrimmage, watch how many times this happens today. You bring everybody to the line of scrimmage, and then everybody bails. So you bring 2, maybe 3. The linebacker comes up. 2, you got a cornerback that'll come up. A safety will come up. Number 1, now you're trying to figure out, are we still in man? Are we still in zone? Then who's going to drop back? Does the linebacker drop back in Tampa? Do the cornerback and the safety drop back to a cover 2? Is it a cover 3? Like the basic point of it is to try to confuse the quarterback. So when you bring everybody up at the line of scrimmage, you better have a hot route. Now, the reason why they disguise it, and maybe they bring everybody up and then everybody drops. What that's trying to do is, if you got a hot route, the rule is throw it where they ain't. That's the rule. Put them in there. The quarterback, receivers, everybody has to be in sync. And then one of those receivers has to run a short to mid route. I'm talking about 5 to 7 yards max. But the thing is, with a hot route, whatever the route is, I don't care if it's a 10-yard in, out. I don't care if it's a dig. I don't care if it's a crossing route. When it's a hot route, you have to look immediately. You got to look for the ball immediately. Because it's up to Jalen to figure out where the blitz is coming from. And he's not going to have a lot of time to get rid of the ball. That's why a lot of times on blitzes, the quarterback is throwing the ball off of his back foot. Because somebody is in his face super fast, and he's got to get rid of the ball. The other benefit of blitzing like that is, if he does throw the ball away, is it intentional grounding because he's still in the pocket? He didn't have time to let it go. Or, worst case scenario, somebody gets a hold of him, knocks his arm out, tips the ball in the air. A whole bunch of bad things can happen to the quarterback because you don't have time to think. So that's the benefit of the blitz. They are bringing everybody up. It is specifically to confuse the quarterback because they don't know where the coverage is going. Who's going to drop, who's going to stay, and who's going to drop. I've seen 2 cornerbacks come up, and then both cornerbacks come, and then the linebacker drops. Or you'll have 3 people in the gaps on the line of scrimmage, but everybody bails. So it's all the whole blitz is all to confuse the quarterback and try to get the quarterback to throw the ball into a coverage that he doesn't recognize or he didn't see when he snapped the ball. That's how Todd Bowles blitz. He forces the quarterback to make a mistake because he didn't see it. And Todd Bowles is one of the best at it.
Let me ask you a question, Marcus, and I'm not sure if you tapped into this. I appreciate you for holding it down. Sorry about that, you guys. Again, I don't know if you tapped into this already. As a running back, right? You've had the pass protect a lot in your football career.
Yes.
And there were moments in that Rams game last week where we saw Saquon pick wrong, right? In particular, when Matt Pryor was in.
Yes.
Now, I think if I'm giving Saquon bail, I think he looked at Matt Pryor and saw how bad he was struggling and thought he had to help him out in certain regards. But in helping him out, he left Jalen Hurts exposed. I want to say in the C gap, or maybe B gap.
Yep.
So walk me through the challenge of being a running back in pass pro where you're dealing with the blitz package or a coach who likes to blitz and send these different complicated versions of the blitz. Walk me through, as a running back, how do you prepare for that, and what are some things you look for?
It's very simple. You stick to the rules. If you're confused, if you're unsure, stick to the rules. The rule says you always block inside to outside. Check the gap first and then go outside. That's the rule. So even if nobody comes, then you look outside. Maybe you can help out the tackle. Maybe you can't. But you still got to block the inside first. Sometimes the defense had the best blitz or the best twist or all of that type of stuff. That's why twists and stunts work so well, because the timing is off a little bit and you go in full speed. So I do believe Saquon looked inside first and didn't see nobody, but you notice that quarterback was on a little bit of a delay. And that's all it takes. That's all it takes. Even if Saquon would have tried to come back because he saw it late, he still wouldn't have got a piece of him. And that's the benefit of the blitz. You confused your protection. Defense wins. You confuse the protection. And one person made a mistake. One person made a mistake. And that's how it goes. And Jalen Hurts gets popped in the mouth. So if you are confused as a running back, if you are unsure, always go inside to out. And I just think Saquon left his assignment a little bit too early.
Right.
Period.
That spoke to the lack of faith in Matt Pryor.
Yeah, but it's easier for Jalen to step up in the pocket. Step up and then go out. Then find your exit strategy. But it's a lot more difficult. Your offensive tackle is blocking the edge, taking him outside, which is why they don't want quarterbacks to run outside. You're running to the containment. So now you got to beat the guy that's got contained. Then you got to get your eyes downfield. It's even worse on when you're talking about people that when you got to go to your left, because first you got to beat the guy outside, then you got to get your hips around and then try to deliver the ball. So it all depends on if you're right-handed, left-handed, stuff like that. But as a running back, protect the inside first, and then let everything else happen. Because running backs are like your last line of defense, bro. You don't really want a running back that has to block. Why do you think running backs are usually the check down? They're the check down because usually nobody's coming.
And the thing is, go ahead.
You look inside, outside, and literally you turn around, put your back to the defense, and sometimes they tell you to just slide back. Sometimes they'll tell you to slide left or slide right, depending on what the protection is doing. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to stay in your quarterback's line of sight. So the running back's usually the check down. So emergency exit, dump the ball, and that's that play that Saquon dropped the ball.
Yeah, the funny thing about all of this, when you blitz like this, somebody is exposed back there.
Yeah.
From a secondary or linebacker standpoint, somebody is open on your offense. When you see a guy like Todd Bowles or Steve Spagnuolo blitz, like somebody is going to be open. It's guaranteed. Death, taxes, somebody going to be open on the blitz.
Yeah.
Find the man. Get a sense for where the blitz is coming from. And again, guys, sometimes you may think the blitz come from this way, come from that way. I understand these guys get paid too, like you said, but you got to be able to diagnose and get that ball to the open guy, man. And sometimes they be so wide open, you just got to get it over there and let them catch it. Just get it over there. You know what I'm saying?
It's a timing thing too, though. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's true too.
Prime example is the KC example. AJ Brown wide open. We didn't have a chance to get him the ball. It happens that quick.
Yeah, no, you're right. Guys miss blocks, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I think what we've noticed in a lot of those situations, because remember, Spags, he blitzed Jalen Hurts the most he's blitzed any quarterback since he's been in KC.
Right.
And in that particular game. And that was the most Jalen Hurts has been blitzed in his career. So they completely emptied the clip. So my thought process is, although the blitz, although it may be different in terms of where the blitz may come from, in terms of just the sheer amount of bodies coming at you, that shouldn't be a mystery. That shouldn't be a surprise. Going to this game, I think there's no secret Todd Bowles has left to keep from the Eagles. They played him that much, and they blitzed Jalen Hurts that much. So, again, I think that it's up to Kevin Patullo to understand that it's just at this point, it's coming. You have to give him an option or two to be able to hit when those blitzes are coming, because all you got to do is gash him one good time, and that shit stops. You gash him one good time early, that shit stops or slows down at the very least. You gash him a couple times in that game and watch that blitz slow down, and then you're gonna start to see guys being exposed in coverage. That lack of pass rush, that pass rush or lack thereof is going to start to be exposed, right? Because I'm a firm believer. No matter what your tendencies are, teams don't want to blitz. You don't want to. If you can get home with 4 comfortably, I don't think you want to. Now, I'm not saying you don't incorporate it in spots.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to put pressure. The ultimate goal is to get pressure. So
like if you're getting pressure with your front 4 consistently, like we saw in the Super Bowl, Vic Fangio was getting so much pressure with his front 4, he didn't even have to think about blitzing.
Yes, but think about it like this: in the macro, how often does that happen when you get that much pressure?
No, it's rare. It's rare.
But
I guess what I'm trying to say is
there's definitely a time and a place.
Yeah, it's a time and place to blitz, and you want to always send curveballs. But I've always been under the belief that if a coach had it their way, they wouldn't have to blitz at all.
Correct.
But that's a perfect world.
Correct.
That's we don't
see that very often, because what you may have missed when you was gone was the blitz is to confuse.
Correct.
The blitz. You referenced what was that, 2023, when we lost to the Bucs, and they didn't. It looked like we were not prepared for the blitz package. That's when, in my opinion, Nick Sirianni almost got fired. And if he would have gotten fired that year, I would have understood.
Because you ask yourself, what are you doing all week?
Exactly.
You got to ask yourself.
It was coming. Everybody named Mama knew it was coming, and it looked like we weren't prepared. So same thing happens. Same thing's coming, and they know what blitzes they're successful at.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to prepare for that. And then what is Todd Bowles going to do? You're going to run the same blitz, but you're going to make it look a little different. You're going to bring it from some other position, or instead of it's your cornerback, you bring the safety up, and then maybe you drop Hassan Reddick in the coverage or something goofy like that. Mm-hmm. Things like that happen all the time. Did you see Josh Sweat the other day?
I saw them drop Vita Vea in coverage. I was like, oh yeah, they really they really sending some unique stuff here. Because Vita Vea, he ain't covering nobody.
But you're not expecting that.
It's just the point is to confuse and make you delay your release by a tick.
Correct. Shout out to my new member Lloyd Haskett, man. That's my frat brother, bro.
Hey, shout out to Lloyd Haskett.
all day, bro. A5A all day. Eastern Kentucky, row 8, rock hard row 8 chapter right there.
Hey, shout out to Lloyd, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Shout out to Lloyd. Again, like VFA ain't covering nobody, but the point is to confuse, to delay your reaction just a bit, to make you see something so weird that it makes you like, oh wait, you know what I mean? So that's what Todd Bowles is great at, man.
You're 100% correct. Vita Vea is not covering anybody. However, if they can trick the quarterback into throwing through a zone where Vita Vea is right there, he can get his hands on the ball.
Of course, that's all you can ask for. Get your hands on it.
That's right. You're just trying to confuse. So.
Yeah. So again, man, this is going to be a fascinating game to watch. We know how this game goes. It's a 1 p.m. game. The league is very much intentional about making the Eagles travel to Tampa Bay at 1 o'clock, not for a night game. You know what I mean? I think if you ask me, after the Eagles beat them in that night game in 2023, originally, the first matchup, they say, nah, we're gonna make these guys travel there for a little bit. We need to make this a competition. We need to make this a competition somehow. We got to give Tampa Bay some kind of an edge. And look, I'm just being a bit facetious, but like somebody said in the chat, man, make them come to Philly at some point. Like so, but nonetheless, it is what it is, man. I can't get mad at it. They made the Minnesota Vikings travel to Philly many years in a row, so that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Right. But I'm looking for a big game from a few guys here. Let's transition to our bold predictions.
Right.
Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. You guys, again, if you're watching this on X, if you're watching this on Twitter, you guys, don't be afraid to migrate to the YouTube side. Again, you guys can be involved in the live chat. You guys can deliver super chats. There's way more engagement on that side of things with us. So again, make sure you guys lock into Pro Fan Talk on YouTube. Lock in with your guy on Chalk It Up Sports on YouTube as well. You guys have a ton of options, and we appreciate y'all for even watching this in general, man. The views are the views, but that YouTube side is really our bread and butter. So make sure you guys lock in. And by the way, lock in. Marcus Thomas is doing a phenomenal job on Pro Fan Talk, just past 8,000 subs. We're doing a great job over on Chalk It Up Sports. We're about 500 to 400 subs away from 10,000. So again, this community is nothing without you guys. Utilize your power as a consumer. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. On top of that, make sure you guys share the content on Twitter, retweet, hit that little heart symbol, reply, do whatever you got to do. We appreciate y'all nonetheless.
Yes, sir.
So let's get to our bold predictions here. As we always do, we always give you a bold prediction on offense from each of us, and we give you a bold prediction on defense from each of us. So, Marcus, let's start with the Eagles offense. Do you have a bold prediction?
You might not like this.
I may love it.
The Eagles get stopped on the tush push today.
I mean, it's been stopped before.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
But not often.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. They get stopped on the tush push today. Okay. I mean, VFA is a man up there, so
they get stopped on the tush push. It's where they gonna bring in that rookie that they signed. Desmond, what's his name? Desmond, what's the big guy that did the 400-something pound dude?
He came from Florida. I forget his name.
Yeah. Desmond,
but nonetheless, interesting bold prediction. I didn't see that coming, actually.
Yeah.
I did not see that one coming. Okay, let me give you my bold prediction on offense. My bold prediction on offense. AJ Brown follows up with another 100-yard game and has 2 touchdowns to end the game.
What did AJ get last week?
He had like 109 yards, 1 touchdown, averaged like 18 yards of reception. Came alive in the second half, like 6 catches on like 8 targets, 9 targets, something like that. So,
do we see it? Do you think last week was the start of a streak? Maybe.
I would like to believe
you're not gonna get 125, but maybe several games of 100 plus.
Yeah, I think last week, that second half, in my humble opinion, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'm of the belief that second half and everything we've heard since then was this team, this offense, Jalen Hurts and those boys drawing their line in the sand.
They finally poked the bear.
I think this was them drawing their line in the sand. Saying,
you know what I meant to do, and I didn't. I didn't, because all of the conversation that we had this week on WIP in 97.5. I didn't really hear much about the actual conversation on the sideline when supposedly Jalen went off on Patullo.
Patullo tried to downplay it.
Yes.
He tried to downplay it. And the
But-
thing is, how much can you really pull from it if he's going to continue
Right.
to downplay it? And like,
Thank you, Linda.
We heard Desmond Watson. Yes,
Yeah.
we saw what we saw. Obviously, our lip readers haven't really gotten the job done as of yet. But
yeah,
you know, it's what is there for you to pull from that? What were you expecting to hear? What are you thinking about from that exchange?
But
Again, I
really wanted to. I meant to do it and I just forgot. But I really wanted to look at that specific moment on the sideline, not after the fact, not the press conference, none of that. I wanted to look at that moment so I could look at Jalen and kind of see what the
body language is telling you.
Yeah, what the tone is, what the facial expressions, and I wanted to see Patullo. If I'm not mistaken, you couldn't see Patullo was on the bench, wasn't he?
He was sitting down, then he got up. You saw his back, and you saw his side profile. He had sunglasses on, and Jamal Singleton was sitting right there next to him.
Yeah, but to me, was the conversation like adversarial? Like
it was
more. I want to get the sense and the context emotionally of how it was going down. Everybody knows that Jalen was hyped, you know, but I want to see how he was taking it.
Here's what I took from it. Just based off the body language, I've seen that body language before. It looked like Jalen Hurts, because I think it came after the Goddard score. I think.
Yeah.
It looked like when Jalen Hurts got to that sideline, and because Jamal Singleton and Patullo were talking, Hurts walks up, and it looks like he's talking to Singleton, but like talking to Patullo, like, "Hey, Jamal, like, yo, like this is
get your man.
It's not this hard. It's not this hard." Like his body language was, because the telltale body language that I saw was towards the end when he did this.
Right.
When he did that, it's almost like, come on. There was this level of exasperation from what was happening prior to that drive. And when they executed that drive, it was almost like he was like, yo, pick it up. It's not this hard. You see what we can do when we just let that shit rip? It's
right.
Not that difficult. So, and it reminds you, Kevin Patullo almost didn't make eye contact with Jalen. He had sunglasses on, so kind of hard to tell, but he wasn't looking Jalen Hurts' way for a good portion of that conversation.
Right.
So
I'm trying to find a clip of it.
Just don't bring it up on screen because I got flagged for it. Whatever you do, don't bring it up on screen because I got flagged for it. But just watch it if you can behind the scenes. All you gotta do is search on Twitter, Jalen Hurts Kevin Patullo, and you'll find it quickly.
Yeah, I found it. I'm trying to. It looks like he's kind of like almost like he's telling him, like, I told you, like the linebacker would be over here. Like we had this all day. Like, let's go. Like,
yeah, that's exactly what it looks like he's saying, yo, come on, what are we doing? So
yeah, and you know what? Now that I'm looking at it,
because we know Patullo's not really.
I wouldn't say he was going off.
Yeah, I don't think it's that.
Yeah,
but I think it was one of those situations where he's like, yo, come on, what are we doing? So, Kevin Patullo tried to make it seem like it was nothing. Understandably so. But we all know it was something. We all know Jalen Hurts even he even made it a point to indicate sometimes you got to get out of character.
Yeah.
And then in the post game with Pam Oliver, he said, remember that long pause we talked about?
Long ass pause.
Long ass pause.
That was very not Jalen.
He was very
measured. Pauses, but he ain't ever paused that damn long.
He was very measured. And you could tell
he was about to fire off something and he thought better. The coach Hermat was like, don't press in. Don't press in. Don't do it.
Yeah, he looked like a guy that had one thing on his mind, but ended up vocalizing it.
He kept that one in the chamber, bro.
Yeah, because he said the first words he said was, if I'm not mistaken, we did this entirely to ourselves. And he emphasized that, said it again, entirely to ourselves. And you know, you always let it get a win. And Jalen Hurts is a guy who only cares about winning. right? We know this about Jalen. But in that moment, and even in his post-game press conference, that was the first time I felt from Jalen that winning is not enough anymore. That was a moment. Normally, Jalen talks about the win, and that's a good team over there. Blah 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 blah.
I didn't look at it like that.
Where I felt like winning's not enough. That was the first time I felt that
way. But that makes sense. That makes sense.
And the main thing will always be the main thing with Jalen. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah.
But that was a moment for me, at least, where I felt like he's happy to get the win, but he's more angry than happy.
Yeah, because the reality of that situation is they got lucky. To me, that was no different than how Washington won that game against Chicago. Hail Mary.
Expound.
Hey, it was a Hail Mary.
But a Hail Mary, there's no game plan behind a Hail Mary, if you ask me.
But that's my point. They shouldn't have won. They missed we blocked the field goal.
Two,
the second
back to back.
one.
That's not a fluke to me. That's a trend.
How often does that happen? So if all things being equal, for all intent and purposes, if you were having that situation again, another different teams in a different situation, the field goal is made.
Right.
So I'm saying it from that standpoint. If Washington, think about it like this: if Washington loses that game against Chicago, they don't make it to the playoffs.
I agree.
But it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with the flip it on the other side. Flip it on the other side. That game last year against Atlanta, if Saquon catches the ball, he scores. Game over.
Or just get the first down. Why'd you slide before? But anyway, that's
so that one play. So, and I'm saying that simply to say that Jalen is looking at that situation like we should not have won that game, but we should not have been in that position
either.
Period. Yeah. We're better than that. So we shouldn't have had to get lucky to get that win.
Yeah, they were fortunate. Yeah. Granted, Jalen Hurts made it very clear that you make your own luck in this league, and they created those opportunities. The reality is the Rams had you dead to rights. You were down 19 points, 26-7. I don't want to attribute it to luck, but I will say they were fortunate to win that game. Because again, that second half, you saw the Eagles dictating the pace, and they had the Rams on their heels from that point forward. And the Rams had a hard time recovering. Yeah. So, again, I try to be careful with that word luck, but I do understand your perspective that 9 times out of 10, if you're in that situation, you lose that game.
Right.
I do understand that. So they went against the odds and went in that game. They beat the odds.
Ultimately, you as a team and as a player, you go back into that post-game meeting, and you say, we can't win games like that. We can't do that again. It shouldn't have to come to that.
Right.
For us to get a W. I understand things happen, but we're better than that.
Yeah. And also, it shouldn't take being put in that position to want to all of a sudden pass the ball. And I think what pisses me off about this whole thing with Kevin Patullo the most is his lack of aggression, his overcommitment to being conservative has created this narrative that, wait, do the Eagles trust Jalen Hurts to the ball? Like that's been a talking point. Now, whether you want to buy into it or not is entirely up to you people, but whether you want to give credence to just the question itself, the reality is it became a question this passing week. And I don't like that because you got a Super Bowl MVP. You got an all-pro, you got a Pro Bowler. You got one of the best door-to-door quarterbacks in football.
Right.
And people are having the conversation. Just the conversation itself is an indictment on Kevin Patullo. So I think it shouldn't be this difficult to get guys like A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith the ball. It really shouldn't. You know the blitz is coming. Get those guys going quickly, because I think we've been so hell-bent on trying to kind of replicate what happened last year, run to pass, not pass to run, right? I think for at least for at least for the foreseeable future until defenses start to show you something different. Spread them out, 11 personnel, create some space, and let your receivers cook and pass to get the run game open. Because if you cooking them in the pass game, that box gonna get lighter and lighter and lighter. And if you spread them out, because I've seen us in a way too many condensed formations. You're not forcing these defensive players to really have to stretch the field with these guys. So spread them out a little bit more. Get some more 11 personnel, like you said, trips, and isolate AJ Brown one-on-one on one side of the field. Like spread them out more, so then you can create space for your running back in the event you give him the ball, and you can create one-on-ones with your receivers. I've seen so many condensed formations from this offense.
You got to make the most of the situation that you got. I think they would benefit a lot greatly, or a lot more if they went tempo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that might be a hard endeavor in this heat, but we'll see. But we've seen it before. Why did we abandon it? Why did we get away from it? It was working.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here's the pressure that Patullo is going to feel, whether it is his fault or not. If the Eagles don't come out throwing the ball, there's going to be trouble. Obviously, how the game ends is going to have a hell of a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But as we've seen in Philly, win or lose, it's people still going to be bitching. So, and you know me, the only thing I really want to see is get Saquon outside and use the pass to set up the run, because that's what we flipped the script now.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody's bottling in Saquon, and for whatever reason, we don't want to pitch him outside or what. I still don't understand that, but I just think I think having the success that we had the second half last game right off the bat may be a little bit unrealistic.
Say it one more time.
The success we had in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
Are we expecting that level of production right from the rip?
I think for myself, I'm expecting effective play calling. I'm expecting you to dictate the terms of engagement. I'm expecting you to not be so passive at the very least. Not be so passive.
So
I'm expecting you to your point.
Though?
I'm expecting you to your point to not run inside. Get outside. Like some of the criticisms we have, right? Consistently running inside, not getting Saquon out in space, right? Not having blitz beaters. For me, at the very least, I just want to see a trend buster. I want to see you get Saquon on the outside. Let him make a play or two. I want to see you, when you see the blitz coming, have something there for Jalen Hurts to hit. I'm not expecting them to just have this offensive explosion, but I want to see some level of sustained drives. Sustain the drive. And if you're 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, throw the fucking ball. Don't run it.
Yeah, I hate that too.
Don't take the coward's draw. I've been hearing that a lot this year.
Or take the deep shot. Use it like
Take
a punt.
Shot. Last year, it was 4th and 5, 4th and 10. You know what Jalen Hurts did? Hey, AJ, I got you, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to see what Jalen Hurts criticized his team are doing or his coaching staff are doing. Playing not to lose. We too talented to be playing this way. Our defense is good enough to overcome any mistake we may make if we do make a mistake. Not saying you want to make the mistake, obviously. You talk about that all the time. You don't want to throw interceptions. But, dog, let your dogs eat. Matter of fact, at bare minimum, put us in a situation where we got to say, hey, Jalen, you got to hit that.
Right.
That's all. Put the onus on the quarterback at least. Put the onus on Jalen Hurts to the point where we got to say, hey, Jalen, you can't miss that guy. The blitz beater was right there. Put the onus on the players.
That's the way it's always been.
I guess. Maybe I'm being emotional, Marcus. I don't know.
Because again, like I said, I can go to that first half of last game and I can show you some open receivers that Jalen just missed. I would expect him to get that ball to that location. He can do that. So, you know.
So what criticism would you offer Patullo then? What do you want to see this week, as a matter of fact?
See, it's so subjective because you know what I'm looking at. I want to see Jalen under center more. I want to see Saquon to the outside. I want to see the defensive line get stretched out because they're chasing. And then you make them go from outside to inside.
So you want to see things that are more objective rather than subjective.
Well, no, just from my point of view, because obviously I'm gonna have an old school perspective on it.
But you can objectively see when Jalen's under center. You can objectively see they're trying to get the ball to Saquon outside. And there are certain things you can just objectively see.
Correct.
Right?
And I've seen all the other teams do it with success. And when I see other teams doing it, I always say to myself, they are not better than us. How come they can
make it look that easy?
How can they run it? How can they pitch their running back to the outside and we can't do it? How come they can run play action and we can't do it?
Yeah.
That's where I get pissed off at. You ain't got to do it verbatim, but put it in our offense. Make it look like our offense, but run the damn play. I don't want to see play action out of gun all the time. Nobody goes for that anymore.
Yeah.
We get that. That's how I see it. Maneuver it around, make it look different. You can run the same plays 5 different ways. I learned that when I started coaching Little League. I had 10 plays, but I had 4 variations of each play. That's 40 plays, and you ain't even done nothing. You got the play, you got a fake off that play, and you got 2 passes off that play. That's 4 plays. So you can have the variation, not to mention the complexities that they have at the NFL level. How many plays are they running from the same formation and then they shift somebody? They shift if they shift AJ to the right side and now you got trips on one side.
Shanahan's the king of that.
Correct.
He's the king of really only running 5 or 6 plays, but giving you 3 or 4 or 5 looks from the play.
Different looks from the play. Kansas City does that too. So it's not difficult. And sometimes I struggle with, what do you consider conservative? Because again, the whole conversation changes if 2 passes are complete in that first half last week. If two more passes are complete, we are not having this conversation whatsoever. So
sounds to me you're putting a lot of the onus on execution from the personnel.
Yes. At the end of the day, it is always going to be on the players. It's always on the players. If nobody's open, right? If they're zoning AJ Brown out of the play, there has to be another option. If they're doubling, if you got a cornerback and a safety coming over to put 2 on them, somebody has to be open. Now that is where I put the onus on Kevin Patullo, because that is something that you figure out in film study. So what I saw last week is Jalen taking control and getting the play in the huddle and then saying, AJ, if they come up in man, this is what we're going to do. Devontae, if they drop to you in zone, I want you to cut that right off by 3 yards and come in hard, and I'm going to hit you with the ball. That's when Jalen can go impromptu, and the defense isn't ready for it because the defense hasn't seen it. They're making it up. That's why, well, it used to be anyways, that's why Kelsey and Mahomes was so good, because they would be doing stuff with unspoken communication. They didn't practice some of the stuff that they were doing. They just knew how to do it. That's why you couldn't stop it. So it's all about conservative. I don't like that word, because conservative changes if a play is completed. Now, if you throw in 3 checkdowns in a row, getting 1 yard, that's conservative.
Or running 3 inside zones in a row.
Correct.
Or, I mean,
we've
been saying that though.
Correct.
Yeah.
But guess what? Here's the problem. We said it last year too. The only difference was Saquon Barkley was ripping folks a new one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like the concept doesn't work. It's just not working now.
Right. And I do expect this offensive line to play better. So just doubling back, your bold prediction was on offense, Eagles, tush push
Eagles,
gets stopped.
Eagles don't get a tush push.
Eagles don't get a tush push. My
They're
bold
going to
prediction
stop
on
us one
offense.
time.
Okay, one time.
They're going to stop
Uh,
us one time, at least
My
one
bold
time.
my bold prediction on offense. AJ Brown picks up where he left off, over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns in this game. All right. Let's get to the defensive bold predictions. What are your bold predictions for the
Just
Eagles
real quick,
defensively?
Green Women, thank you for that super chat, Wingman. That.
That's a good point.
Say again, but louder. So
that's a very good point, man. When Jake Browning can't throw the ball freely over your Super Bowl MVP, that's a bit of an issue. Yeah, I agree 100%, man. So bold prediction for you defensively, big dog. What you got for me?
Keely Ringo gets a pick. Keely Ringo gets a pick, or Jalen Hunt gets a sack.
Which one is more bold? Which one is
Keely Ringo?
All right. That's a good one. That's a very good one.
Yeah. I want to say Keely's ready, but I've said that before.
My bold prediction for
this. He can show me better than he can tell me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
My defensive bold prediction for this game: Eagles hold Baker Mayfield. Eagles hold Baker Mayfield to under 150 yards passing, and he turns the ball over twice.
Okay.
They hold him to under 150 yards passing, and he turns the ball over twice. That could be 2 interceptions. That could be an interception and a fumble. It could be any one of those things. But the Eagles defense will hold Baker Mayfield to under 150 yards passing.
I like that.
And he turns the ball over twice. That's as bold as it comes, because
trying to do too much.
Baker, I think right now, if I'm looking at his game log at this point in the season, Baker Mayfield, he's put up 167 passing yards in week 1, 215 in week 2, and 233 in week 3. So it's not impossible.
Right.
It's not impossible, but that means Keely Ringo is doing his job to the highest degree. And our guy Mitchell Patterson says, "You fried, fan. We're not holding Baker to that." That's why it's called a bold prediction.
Facts. Hey, appreciate that, Jeff.
Jay Graves said bold as fuck.
yeah. That's why it's called a bold prediction.
That's why it's called a bold prediction.
Listen, to me, that is not an unreasonable request. To me, that's not unreasonable. I can see that happening. Yes, it is a bold take, but our defense has had spurts like that before. So to me, that's not out of the realm of possibility.
And when I think about this Eagles pass defense right now, they've only been allowing opposing teams to throw for an average of 185 passing yards. So it's not impossible, maybe improbable, but it's a bold prediction nonetheless.
Who are the backup offensive linemen for Tampa Bay?
I think it's the right tackle. So let me look at their depth chart here. The backup one is Charlie Heck at right tackle, and they have an interior lineman that's out as well by the name of Cody Mulch. Cody Mulch is the guy who's out. He's a guard. Let me see what guard. Let me see what he is, though, if he's a right guard or a left guard. Cody Mulch has played right guard in his career. So seems like that right side is where the backups are at.
Azeez Ojulari is inactive?
Again?
Blunt just put that up there.
Let me see here. Because, they always drop that list. All right, it says inactive. So Dory Jackson, Azeez Ojulari, Sam Howell. That means Ogbo Okoronkwo got the nod ahead of him.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Azeez Ojulari inactive for the 4th game in a row. Has he really fallen off that bad? Or has he become somebody that Fangio doesn't believe he can execute the defense? Because Fangio runs some complex things with his edges and so on and so forth. That he has more trust in Ogbo Okoronkwo than Aziz Ojulari. That's interesting to me.
Very interesting. 24 Birds, thank you for the super chat. I do not think that they will mix the run game up with Dillon and Bigsby. They haven't done that in the past. Shipley will come in every now and then.
Yeah.
But they're going to, when it comes to that specifically, me personally, I don't want Saquon to come off the field, to be honest with you.
If he ain't got to, but he will because he will at some point. But
right. They're gonna keep a good rotation because of the heat. They want to keep fresh legs and things like that. But it'll probably be Bigsby. Maybe Dillon will go in there to pass block. And maybe he'll get 1 or 2 carries or something like that. But I don't see them changing that up that much.
Yeah, Dillon was in on some pretty good pass block reps in that Rams game. So
yeah.
We'll see. We'll definitely see. So, all right, we got our bold predictions in. What's your score prediction, big dog?
27-14 Eagles.
Wow.
Defense comes. Defense. Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter take another step as a formidable duo in the NFL.
I'm going to roll with, because I'm looking at the Buccaneers offense, what they've done. From a production standpoint, they've gone 23 points, 20 points, and 29 points. Now, granted,
and in those games,
granted they had a pick 6 against the Jets, so they really only generated 22 points offensively.
Right. And what did Evans do in those games?
And in those games, Mike Evans, let's see here, in game 1 against the Falcons, Mike Evans, 5 catches, 51 yards. Then in the following game against the Texans, which is where their offense really struggled, Mike Evans, 56 yards, 5 catches.
Did he score?
No, he did not. And in the previous game against the Jets, Mike Evans had 4 catches, 33 yards, and 1 touchdown. So Emeka Egbuka has been their leading receiver 2 out of the 3 weeks in terms of yards, and he leads their team in touchdown catches. So Emeka Egbuka has been kind of becoming he's come on the scene. But nonetheless, though, it is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. But again, their offense, with all the praise they get, their offense hasn't been putting up big numbers in terms of scoring. 23, 20, and 29 points, but a touchdown came from a pick 6 against the Jets, so 22 points.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? I look at this as a team that the Eagles can definitely beat.
Definitely.
You said 27-14 Eagles?
Yes.
I'm going to say 27-17 Eagles.
Put a field goal in there, but we roughly in the same spot.
I'm going to say 27-17 Eagles.
Listen, I'm not giving nobody a field goal with what Jordan and Jalen been doing. I ain't giving nobody field goals no more.
Oh, man. All right, so our score predictions are in. You got 27-14 Eagles. I got 27-17 Eagles. All right, let's get to the week 4 matchups. Let's just try to fly through this quick. We're a little behind. So let's fly through our predictions as quickly as we possibly can. Real quick, do you remember what your overall record was as of week 3? So weeks 1 through week 3, do you know what your overall record was? I was 27. I'm 27-21.
Let me see. Picks and week. I thought I wrote it down. I was 9-16 last week. So
not 9 out of 16?
Yeah.
So you went 9-7 last week, like me.
Yep, 9-7. And I think because we talked about this, so 30. So what's the total?
The total is 48.
48.
Mm-hmm.
So I am 7-19. I'm 28
and 20.
28 and 20.
I'm 27-21. Okay. So now let's get to our week 4 matchups of the week, y'all. It's going to be very interesting. I actually think this is probably one of the more clearer weeks than last week. Last week definitely threw us for a loop. But I forgot the Vikings and Steelers are playing early. Shit. Because I had in that game, I had the Steelers winning the game, and they're winning right now. So Pittsburgh is up 21-6 on
Are they playing overseas?
Yeah, they're in Dublin.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
I forgot about that, but I had the Steelers winning that game. And right now they're up 21-6 on Minnesota. So I try to tell people Carson Wentz will always turn back to a pumpkin at some point. They got excited about that game last week when in reality it was really the defense forcing the issue. Carson Wentz has already thrown 2 interceptions.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell people about that man. Like he's 19 for 27, 168 passing yards, 2 interceptions.
What channel is that on?
Probably NFL Network or something. But yeah, man.
NFL Network. Yeah, I want to watch that game. Yep. NFL Network.
So yeah, like I said, I had the Steelers winning that game. All right. Next up, we got Commanders at Falcons. Who you got winning that one?
What did I pick on that? I skipped that one.
By the way, Carson's been sacked 6 times.
I got the Falcons winning that. Falcons need a win right now.
I got Commanders winning that game.
I'm gonna say the Falcons finally gonna get a game at home.
You may be right though, honestly. Maybe I'm riding high what the Commanders did last week without Jaden Daniels, but now they're going to be without Terry McLaurin as well, so that makes it a little more difficult. And they're without another receiver, Noah. Forget his name.
So guess what? It's gonna be the Marcus Mariota and Deebo Samuel show. So
yeah, man.
You know what I would do? I would double Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, that's true. I'm still rolling with the Commanders in that game. They did a lot on both sides of the ball and special teams to win that game.
Yeah,
maybe it's hard.
Okay.
All right. Saints at Bills. Saints at the Bills. I got the Bills winning this game handily. So not even a question. Bills winning that game. All right. Browns at Lions. I got the Lions winning this game.
Yep. Browns are a shit show.
Yeah, their defense is probably going to make it a little interesting, but I think the Lions win this game.
Although I will say this. The Lions are gonna put hands on Joey Flacco. We might see Dylan Gabriel today. And if we see Dylan Gabriel, that means one step closer to Shedeur Sanders. So I am predicting that we will see Dylan Gabriel today for the Browns.
Okay.
I think the Lions are going to put hands on Joey Flacco. That 40-year-old tank is running on fume, bro.
Oh, it's so funny seeing them out there sometimes. Panthers at Patriots. I got the Patriots winning this game. They got to bounce back from that debacle against the Steelers from last week.
I got the Panthers winning.
Really? You think the Panthers pick up where they left off after shutting out Atlanta 30-0? You think that's what they needed to?
I don't think the Patriots are that good.
I think the Patriots bounce back, and they're home. So I got the Patriots winning this game. Chargers at Giants. I got a Chargers winning this game.
Chargers.
I also got Jackson Dart turning the ball over twice in this game.
Yeah, they're gonna light his ass up.
Yeah. Chargers win at Giants. Eagles at Buccaneers. Obviously, you and I had this game. Eagles winning. I got one in 27-17. You got to win in 27-14. Titans at Texans. I think the Texans get their first win of the season.
Agreed.
If they can't win this game, then
agreed. Lord. Then C.J. Gardner-Johnson will be happy he got the hell up out of there. So
yeah. So I got the Texans beating the Titans. Colts at Rams. I think the Colts steal this one on the road.
Nah, I got the Rams. Rams are pissed off from what happened last week.
Yeah, that can either push in the right direction or the wrong one. I like the Colts. They've been very stable. I like the way their defense is playing. I like the way Daniel Jones is running their offense. Jonathan Taylor has been unstoppable. I'm rolling with the Colts in this game on the road.
Okay.
Jaguars at 49ers. I think the Niners win this game. I think Brock Purdy's coming back. So
49ers as well.
I think Niners win this game.
Yep.
Ravens at Chiefs. This is an interesting game. I think
it is.
I think this is low key the game of the week because both of these teams are 1-2, and neither of them can afford to fall 1-3. See, that's the thing.
And neither one of their defenses is playing worth a damn.
Right. And here's the thing, right? Neither of those teams expected themselves to be in a 1-2 spot.
Correct.
So with both of those teams meeting each other at 1-2, that's a dangerous position for one of those teams to be in if they lose.
Yes.
So I got the Ravens winning that game, though.
The only reason I'm picking the Ravens because the Ravens defense has not been good. Chiefs defense has not been good. The only thing that puts the Ravens over the top for me
Scoring.
is the scoring, and Lamar Jackson is playing better than Patrick Mahomes right now.
Yes.
So I'm picking the Ravens at the Chiefs.
Yep. All right. Bears at the Raiders. I got the Bears in this game.
I got the Bears too. Raiders are going to regret not picking up Shador.
Yeah.
Because I believe your boy Geno, he might not make it through the end of the year.
Yeah, I think that Geno magic is starting to fade.
Yeah. Somebody finally rolled back.
I forgot he said that.
I've been waiting to say that.
Packers at Cowboys. I think the Packers romped them. I think the Packers smoked their boots.
Micah Parsons, 2 sacks, pass breakup, 3 hurries, and a pick.
I think he gets. I think he get a strip sack too.
He might. He on some other stuff right now, and you know he gonna be all about it.
Yeah, man.
You know he gonna be all about it.
Yeah. So I got, and this Sunday, and that's Sunday Night Football too. So,
yeah.
I'm watching that one tonight.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for that one.
Packers at Cowboys, unless Jordan Love just throws the game away. But anyway. Packers at Cowboys. Packers win. Jets at Dolphins. I got the Jets win this game.
Jets.
Jaden,
I got the Jets as well.
Justin Fields is back. He's back. I got the Jets win this game. I just think the Dolphins are a dumpster fire.
Yo, do you think the coach makes it through the year?
When's their bye week?
I don't even know.
When's the Dolphins bye week? Let me see. Is it week 8? Dolphins bye week is where is it? Week 12. So the question is, does he make it to the bye week?
If they lose today,
I think
they don't make it out of the bye. He don't make it out of the bye.
Yeah, because think about these next games that are coming up. They got Jets today, then they got Carolina, Chargers, Browns, Falcons, Baltimore, Buffalo, Washington. That's not the easiest stretch when you think about the Chargers and the Ravens and Buffalo. That's tough.
Hell, look at the Browns defense.
Exactly.
They ain't no slouches. They just ain't got an offense.
I think he doesn't. I think he gets fired before the bye week because the Dolphins are a reactionary franchise. I think he gets fired before the bye week.
Before the bye week, okay.
If they lose this game,
right?
Starting 0-4. So, I got Jets winning that game. Bengals at Broncos. I got Broncos winning this game.
Broncos, of course. My Bengals are still.
Yeah,
I'm about to walk around with a bag over my head like we used to do in the 80s. My Bengals can't win. Joe Cool is out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not looking good for the Bengals in the jungle, man.
Yeah.
But they're going to Mile High, so they're gonna get a beat down and they ain't gonna be able to breathe. So it is what it is.
Exactly, man. So, all right, those are our picks for the week, y'all. We're gonna revisit these on our Tuesday show and figure out who got the most wins, who's in the league right now. As of right now, Coach Marcus is in the league. He has a 28-20 record on the season. I have a 27-21 record. So I'm on his heels.
On my heels, man.
I'm on his heels. You know what I mean? So I need the Commanders to smoke the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? I need the Patriots to beat the Panthers.
Somebody just got hurt for the Steelers. Austin just got hurt.
Calvin Austin, the receiver?
Yeah, he walking to the locker room.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Yo, Eagle, go. Why you do that, man? Don't do that.
Nah, he's not that, I don't think. But I think Those are the only 2 games you and I disagree on. Commanders at Falcons and Panthers at Patriots. Oh, and the Rams, Colts and Rams. I need Colts to smoke the Rams too.
I don't see Danny Dimes beating Matt Stafford.
He has to beat that defense.
I get it. I just
But
don't see it.
I hear you, but the
Who's
Colts are
stopping
playing.
Nakua?
Listen, that coach defense has been playing well, man.
Yeah,
They're good.
are.
They're good.
Yeah. We'll see.
That coach team is good, man. So we'll see it overall, though. But that's our show, y'all. We really do appreciate y'all for locking in the way you guys have been. You guys have been phenomenal. Again, make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Also, if you're watching the content on X or Twitter, however you refer to it, don't be a stranger. Make sure you guys continue to support. Hit the retweet button. Make sure you hit the like button. But also, don't hesitate to go to the YouTube side, right? We really do appreciate y'all for locking in. That YouTube side is our bread and butter. So
yeah, we check that. We check those analytics. We do not get credit for views on X, but we appreciate the bandwidth X gives us.
For sure.
We would rather have you come on board with YouTube and join the family, jump in the chat, all that kind of good stuff.
Absolutely. So again, my score prediction, 27-17 Birds. Marcus, 27-14 Birds.
14, yep.
Both of us are calling a double-digit victory. Both of us are calling a 2-possession victory.
Yes, sir. But at the end of the day, all I need is for the score to be too much to
too little. I love it. I love it, man. Smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We'll catch you guys on our Tuesday show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Central, 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time, and 4:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And it's straight like that. Y'all have been tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm Tony DeShields II, and it's Fly Eagles Fly, y'all.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Marcus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Blind guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Marcus always standing by, bringing their heat, call it duty.